link anyway.
Actually, I'll post one to where will I post it? To the club. I should at least post it to my group, right? Boop. Channel. Your channel. Cool. Copy. It's funny how we get so used to things. Like, I'm so used to bumping around the cell phone that I'm actually more comfortable now with the cell phone than I
Oh
am with the
shoot,
computer.
there we go. Forgot to mute YouTube. So when your stream started, it just started having a little bit of an echo.
Oh yeah, actually I know it said earlier too, but your audio wasn't too loud, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, just that way it gets you the watch time. Not sure if you need it or not, but still it gets you that.
Oh, it doesn't hurt. Actually, okay, I shouldn't talk too much about it, but I have a sponsorship deal that is this close to being done with a certain Bricklink store.
Nice.
Ryan, that Ryan might know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a small deal between him and me because we get along great, and actually I'm helping him out with a few ideas. You might see him on streams sooner or later.
He
Okay.
I think he's starting a website, eh? I don't know.
Yes, yes, yeah. He sent me everything, and we were going over some stuff, and I'm excited, and he's very excited, and this is the next step, and this is his business. This is what puts food on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good stuff. So we are going to open this, and actually I can probably do without one of these. Which one now? Boom. There, that's a little better.
Here, wait. I think there might be someone I know who might be online who might want to pop into this stream.
Ooh. Where is my... Okay, cool. Private chat? Oh, okay. Look at that. I keep forgetting that's there. So Ryan's been waiting forever to build this. How many do you have left, or is this your last one?
Yeah. I have a couple of these left sealed.
Are you still trying to sell them, or that just
I
got...
will. I think I'm gonna wait a while. I'll let it clear off shelves before I probably try again.
Yeah, because you know what's funny? I see it available again, too.
Yeah.
It goes to show you either how much they overvalued this as a property, and I'm just testing my camera here. No, okay. I didn't reset my cameras, but since it's a new link and it's a new browser windows, I don't know what to expect out of my cameras.
Yeah.
He built this up, but I have.
See, after building my first epic battle set, my standards are kind of lowered now because I was so disappointed when I built the first one.
It's funny how your standards can change when you get a certain build. It's like, oh, that's what it's like.
Yeah. And so for these ones, I was expecting the builds to be decent for the piece count,
Yeah.
and they're not. They're really not.
All right, what do we got? Oh, there's stickers. I don't know why I'm shocked.
It's like me
Uh-oh.
expecting there not to be any stickers for this Found the City Garden set.
Oh, I'm worried. Where? My desk is a little bit messier than it should be. Oh, good. If we're doing stickers, and I want a screwdriver. Hey, I've turned on a lot of people to that.
Yeah.
Nice little fine flathead screwdriver. All right, so we got a single book. Nice little bill. Let's see. Wow, 112 pages. How many bags? Wow, look at that huge and it's thicker too. The plastic for bag 1.
Um,
It feels different than the bags. Yeah. It's a thicker plastic. It feels like the same plastic almost for the manuals.
huh.
How weird is that?
Interesting.
I'm strategically moving some of the bags off camera because I'll tell you the truth, I'm afraid of the camera spazzing out.
I just toss them behind me. Clean up the mess after.
Yeah, well, down here in the corner is actually kind of my sinful little space. Everything I've opened and most of what I've gotten lately. I like to keep some stuff there so I know, oh, I got to photograph this, so I keep it close. But it's like, yeah, that's kind of bad. I still haven't tweaked everything the way I want. And today I was supposed to spend an hour fixing my lights. I actually brought my old light bar back in because now that I got 2 dead lights, or 1 dead light and 1 sort of dead, I need to, I don't know if you noticed, but my desk is not as white as it should be.
Hmm.
And I got to tweak these lights. The problem is the light bar is not white light. It's actually a warm light, like kind of a yellow, which I
Okay.
can tweak. But if I tweak it too much, then either I look weird or all the Lego sets behind me look weird. So
Hmm.
it's something I got to manage.
They put a lot of different. The whole front of this manual is all like different languages. Right?
Yeah.
Like the first like 10 pages.
Okay. Wow. I haven't seen. Wow.
Yeah, that's a little different, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
You're
Not on,
you don't
not
start
often.
page 15.
Great. And 1 bag per section, and no figures in the set though.
No, that's
You get the
the
bird, which I assume is significant to the game. The little birdie, but
Is
that's
that
okay.
drilling noise a little disturbing or not for the stream?
What noise?
Oh, you don't hear it?
I'm not hearing much of anything other than Ryan's mic when he was talking.
Okay, because my dad's doing like a little bit of construction work upstairs, and I can hear it.
Well, I've been in a house that was raised while I was eating lunch. It was raised 2 inches and then dropped back down on its foundation.
Hmm.
That was the tour of Newfoundland when we were hitting all my wife's family members' places. 10
Right.
days, 7 different houses, or 6 different houses, and one place we stayed at 2 days. Actually, at the beginning and end of that trip around the rock, and her cousin's husband Garfield had, while we're 3 of us, me, my wife, and her cousin were in the living room having sandwiches. He was in the basement. I didn't know this. He had jacked up the house 4 corners, jacked it up 1 corner at a time, raised it up, did whatever, and then dropped it down onto the new foundation he had built.
Wow.
While we were having lunch, no one thought to tell us this. Newfoundland is a different place, people. It was incredible, and and it looked great when he was done. And I went downstairs, and I was like, "Wow, we almost died, but okay, cool." Um, Building standards are different in
True.
Newfoundland.
Have you ever seen the YouTube show Just Passing Through? You know which one I'm talking about? When you talk
Hey,
about
hey, Mama. Sorry, Mama's back. Welcome back. Da 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 da. So you were saying? I'm sorry.
it's on YouTube. It's called Just Passing Through.
Just
There's like
passing.
10
No,
episodes.
it doesn't sound familiar.
It's got a lot of the guys that are on that. What's that show that's on Crave? It's one of the big ones that's been around since the beginning. Crave.
Letter Kenny. Kenny.
No, not Letter. Yeah, is it Leonard Kenny? Yeah,
Letter Kenny. That's
yeah.
been a big one for Crave. I tell you, and I've been wanting to get Crave just to watch that show.
So
I haven't done it yet.
this was before Letterkenny ever came out. It's a lot of those same guys are in it,
Oh,
and
really?
it's pretty well. It's almost raunchy, but it's funny. It's funny.
Herbology. Okay, so I gotta ask, Mama. Herbology class. Is this just a class about plants, or am I totally off?
I think that's right.
I mean, I don't mind admitting I don't know something.
Sounds like
I'm just worried it's a different kind of herb she's talking about. We're gonna have to give Mama a different name.
sounds something for other.
Okay, so this guy's got double hinges. That's good. Or joints. You know what I saw actually a mock today that stood only probably about as high as your Commander Cody there, Ryan. But it was classic space themed colors for, a mech. And I thought, oh boy, that one really inspired me to want to build another mech again. Because I haven't built a really good mech in years.
Mm-hmm.
Since your Gundam even probably was be your last big one, eh?
Well, that was a set though. I mean, mocking one.
Right. Yeah.
Because I've got ideas in my head of stuff I would like to do or stuff I've been inspired by that I would like to rip off, and it's like, oh, that one almost did it to me. It's like it got all the juices flowing. But I mean, I've still got mocks sitting in a box. I've only half finished, like the Sith Fury UCS size set. I mean, I got a frame and I've got a bunch of the parts, and I've basically got all the parts I need to finish it. All I really need is to sit down and actually do it.
That's a set I still have to build too. I got so many.
But the Sith Fury,
Yeah.
it is such a good set.
Mom, she found that. Well, she picked up a bunch of sets for Nathan years ago from somebody back home, and that was the last one that she hadn't given to us, and she ended up giving it to me. Yeah, so it's another one open box, but it's all sealed bags inside.
All right.
Built, and she didn't pay much for it. Not
That's
much.
okay. Getting a good deal is cool.
Hell of a good deal.
So Mama says it's one of the Harry Potter book sets.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's good. I was a little worried about you there, Mama.
What's taking you guys so long? I already finished my build.
Oh, well, we should have challenged you and blindfold. Someone can read out the instructions to you, and you do it by feel.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea for what I could get someone to do.
I've mentioned this to someone else. Everyone does a stream or something. Look, it's got to be a small set, otherwise it'd be ridiculous. And then someone else reads the digital instructions. Okay, grab a 2x2 plate, and then you try and put it on top of what you're holding and try and fit it on with your eyes closed. Like, that's a challenge. And of course, to the other person's skill at being able to describe something too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm planning on getting more. I'm planning on getting all these epic battle sets, not right away, but like eventually. So that's an idea.
But that could definitely be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And actually, what inspired me for that idea was that people are starting to build the calendar sets. The calendar daily builds. They were building them in the bag without opening them. I saw that with the super wrinkled bags, and I thought, oh, okay, imagine if you had to do that without being able to see it now. That would be a challenge.
How would you do that, though, for minifigures that require a cape? Like, I'm thinking for, like, the Star Wars one.
Ooh, that'd be so hard. It's hard enough to do capes now.
It's impossible to do though because for the Star Wars 2020 Advent Calendar, it comes in like a separate little box, and then you got the figures contents in another
Try,
bag.
Yeah.
trying to break the box in the bag. Oh my God, what a challenge that would be. I think we'd have to be very careful with the selection of set. I mean,
Hmm.
there's got to be a reasonable chance for success of building it, and that was like, that's setting you up for failure.
Yeah, this has got to be the weirdest Ninjago weapon I've ever seen.
Let's see it here. I'm gonna make you full screen so I can see this better. Oh yeah,
Yard rake,
yeah,
leaf rake.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
yeah. They're scary ninjas. They will come and rake your yard.
Yeah, yeah.
Go go, Ninjago Rangers. I don't know where I was going with that. That one just half died in my head before it came out. Hey, I think Power Rangers were awesome for what they were.
I think they technically did release an unofficial Lego minifigure that looks like a Power Ranger. I own that figure. I got it specifically just because it's fun to call it a Power Ranger.
Oh, okay, well, that's definitely looked like a Power Ranger. Yes, yes. And in fact, so that's a CMF, isn't it?
Yep, that's I think series 20.
Yeah, when I did that one and I did that live, I positive I just called them Power Ranger because I don't know the names of any of them. Because that's what it was to me. It was the Power Ranger.
Hmm.
But
I got so many comments saying, "No, that's not a Power Ranger. What are you talking about? It's the Space Warrior or something like that."
okay.
Here, I can pull up what it's actually called right now. I know it's something weird like a space something.
Trying to figure out what I did wrong here. I got to a point where like, oh, that can't possibly work. All right. Not that it's a race. I'm not racing Ryan on this.
Yeah. Well, I just built it casually for my build.
Yeah.
Super Warrior is what it's called.
Super Warrior. Oh boy, they went all out on that. They wanted to make sure that was a successful figure. I always wonder what goes into their figure designs. Like, are they really testing out ideas to see if it's something that they should expand on,
Hmm.
or are they just throwing this crap out there into the universe? And
Make
I
you
feel
wonder.
like some of the figures are like the costume characters. Like there's only a handful of them where it feels like that's what they're doing. Some people like them. I'm like, whatever.
yeah, the costume figures are weird like that.
Like, what use do we have for a Ladybug
Yeah.
character?
Yeah, had a wild party with all those costume figures.
I was trying to collect all the musical characters, like characters that came with musical instruments, and I was like, I don't necessarily want these figures. I need to just stop collecting them. So I skipped on Series 20, and it's just like, I'm not used to change, so it's just like, I need to get it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Just let it go.
It
Let it
is
go.
hard to stick to your guns when you want to stop doing a collection or stop doing something. And it's like, oh, but it's there, and all your friends got it or whatever. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so it's like I canceled my order for the current CMF series. Well, this is the first one in whatever number of years I haven't gotten, and it's hard because I want to go get it. And I don't know. I mean, for the last 4 or 5 series, I really didn't give a shit. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I kept collecting them because I had them. And that's the worst reason to keep collecting them. It's because, oh, I got this and I got this, so I need to buy next
Hmm.
year's. Well, that's what they're hoping for. So, I mean, that means they're very successful if they're making us make purchases we know we don't want to make anymore. But I'm trying to stick to my guns.
A lot of people are calling the Series 21 the unofficial battle pack for the Space Police guy.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people doing that.
I think, what was it, Stud City? He said he was going to try an army build with that.
Well, you know what? Every series, there's usually one figure that someone wants to chase and build for whatever, like get a lot of. So way back when, I can't remember what it was, probably 5, 6, 7 series back. The one with the astronaut with the and they even had a little flag piece. I bought because it, to me, I'm a classic space guy. I love classic space. So when I see this white guy that is in a nice looking NASA looking
Hmm.
print, I thought, oh, I'm going to buy a lot of these. I'm going to use them for a build, and I bet you I got 15 or 20 of them because I was feeling them out. And anyone who wanted one, I'd be in the store. This was back in the days when me and my daughter would go to the stores.
Oh yeah.
And if someone came by and I feel that I'm filling out packages, whatever they want, I give them. But I was trying to get my hands on all the astronauts. And then the other series, I did that with the shark guy, left shark, right shark, whatever it was that Katy Perry had going on. So Lego ripped it off and made a shark guy. But
Okay.
there's always one figure that I was always stockpiling, just because at the time I was feeling them out. And I go, oh, I don't mind having a few more of those. And since I'm here filling out sets for people, it's like, yeah, why not?
I kind of did the same thing. Like I'd be walking in the Toys R Us with my mom, and we'd just be window shopping. And then she points out to me, "Yeah, those kids are just trying to look for a certain character. Do you think you can help them out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I go up to them and like, "Hey, what character are you looking for?" They tell me like, "Hey, you mind if I help you?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So it takes me like 5 seconds. I'm like, "Here you go."
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get that feeling for if you're looking for a unique shape that figure, then it's
Yep.
great. It just sucks when there's two figures or three figures in the series that really
Hmm.
have nothing unique to feel for. No unique accessories, no unique hair pieces.
Oh, that gives me bad memories from the
Yep.
Unikitty series.
Yeah, Unikitty, impossible to feel for.
Well, unless you wanted a puppy corner Unikitty, that's the only
Yeah,
diversity.
yeah. Oh, am I supposed to have two of these? And I'm not seeing two of these.
Well, I can't stop talking about the gardens, but I got a little cup. And you want to know what this all is?
No, what is it?
It is Lego pieces. It's all the extra pieces I've gotten so far, and surprisingly, would you consider this as an extra? Does this look like something that'd be considered an extra if you're building a set?
What is it?
It's the only name I can come up for is a rainbow piece because it was used for the rainbow bear.
Oh, okay.
So I was swearing up and down to people in my chat that it was an extra because I looked at the back of the third instructions were at the parts list and it said, okay, there's only 4 of that piece included in the set. Okay, well, why do I have a 5th one? Because that's the 5th one, and
Yeah.
it was freaking me out because I'm thinking, did I miss a step? And
Yeah.
I'm
When you get the odd extras, then you got to investigate. But then you'll pull out your hair and you'll get to the point where it's not an. I haven't screwed up. It must be an extra. I
well,
mean, it
for
happens.
me, I
Quality.
always mess up.
Well, I mean, usually for me, it's a big obvious piece. Like it'll be something weird at the end where I'll have like
Yeah.
two of these 2x4 plates, and it's like, okay, clearly I messed up. Lego didn't screw up that bad because they use weight detection as their primary method of checking bags and stuff.
Hmm.
And like, so if there's an extra 2x4, that's usually a big mistake because that's a significant weight compared to, a 1x1 flat half cut circle thing.
Right.
Um, but yeah, 2x4 will show up on almost all weight scales as a significant weight increase to a bag.
Interesting. Yeah, another thing that I've noticed with like the larger sets I've gotten for the Millennium Falcon when I was building it, the instruction wanted me to put a 2x2 tile, and I didn't have that. I instead in its place I had a 2x2 jumper.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it's still a 2x2. It's just gonna be a unique, different thing. So
Just showing this off for Cinder
okay,
Sins.
and I didn't think I'd encounter the same issue with the gardens, but I get to the one section and I'm like, okay, guys, you guys can see the pile in front of me because I had a different camera angle than I normally do for my streams. You guys can see there's only this piece that is asking me, but it's in the wrong color.
Oh,
So
wow.
nothing I can do. I mean, like it adds a little bit of uniqueness to my version, I guess. But when it comes to me having to review the set, it's gonna be like, yeah, guys, just this isn't normal.
Mine ain't right.
Yeah, I could order a replacement, but it's just so unique. I'm not going to bother.
That reminds me, I still got to get Lego to fix the lack of stickers for one of the sets my wife built for Christmas.
Yeah.
It didn't have the sticker sheet. It wasn't a critical thing
Hmm.
for her. Actually, I don't know. It couldn't have been a big deal. I think it was for the reindeer set. Just another reason to hate stickers.
Yeah.
Because if what if you get them and they're curled up or they're peeled off? I had one set. Oh, Lego Star Wars, and oh, it's gonna kill me because I can't remember what V-wing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know what the V-wing was.
Oh,
They
that
re- they released it in two different versions. Um, a, I think a black one and a gray one. And on the particular one I had, the more rare of the two, the sticker sheet was completely destroyed, more or less. There was evidence that that particular set was probably near a heat source, because I also saw
Mm,
a couple bricks that looked borderline as if they were about to start melting.
okay.
And I ended up ordering a new sheet eventually, but I built it and left it for a year with the crappy stickers on it. Like I'd done everything I could to fix the sticker, and eventually they just rolled back up. And it just looked like ass in my cabinet. But I eventually ordered the new set of stickers and replaced them.
Right.
But yeah, I really hate stickers because I mean, it can totally ruin the experience. And what if you're not physically capable of applying them? Some people can't. Mama says a Sesame Street had lots of extras.
Yeah.
I mean, for the size of that Ninjago set you're doing, I wouldn't be shocked if you end up with like 100 extra pieces at the end.
Oh, I'm probably going to count it out on stream. Be like, hey guys, I've got all the extras. Let's count them out. Because
Yeah.
that way I'm totally not stretching the watch time.
Yeah. One, two,
Yeah.
three. Oops, I gotta start over. One. Well, that was like, okay, so here's a story going back in time. Towards the end of high school, um, I was still doing most of my typed up reports on my typewriter, on my mom's typewriter. So that shows you how old I am. But, the teacher would say you had to have X number of words, X number of pages, or whatever, right? Well, I'm a sneaky guy, and I knew what I was writing, and then I'd written it out, and I couldn't find a way to expand it, but what I could do was add a little bit of extra space between the lines. So basically, I was able to push two whole lines of text off the page, and in the end, I had an extra page
Hmm.
of typing. Yeah. Oh, and you know what it was? It wasn't my mom's typewriter. It was my wife's, back then, my girlfriend, because, she was only 15, and it was her electric typewriter. So you could fudge with the spacing between lines digitally. And I had done that, and I thought I was such a genius. I produced a longer report without it being longer. So that's funny that you talking about adding time to your stream or whatever made me think of what I did to fudge through some of my high school reports.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Us old people start going deep in the weeds when we remember old shit.
I'm looking at this build, and there's one thing that's really bothering me. There's like this light gray piece that sticks out like a sore thumb, and I wish they would have included just like a uh, modified tile-like piece thing that just wraps over it. Just make it. Just they couldn't be bothered to add that one bit.
You don't do many Technic builds, do you?
No.
Well, see, Technic, no matter how good the Technic build is, you see the final result and you look at it and go, well, why didn't they change the color of the Technic pins, let's say, right?
Oh, I hear that all the time for the odd review I watch.
Orange build, right? You got an orange car or whatever, but it's full of blue and black pins. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, it's very annoying. very annoying. There's so many decisions Lego makes, and I get it because they've stockpiled the pins in these colors, and they honestly aren't probably going to make white pins and green pins and whatever. They're going to stick to their three colors, and that's it.
Well, from a Ninjago fan standpoint, for like the little mask things that they're doing for the epic battle sets, like how you saw that's an orange, that's a new
Uh,
color, and they're going out of their way to make this new color in orange and and like sky blue. But why won't they make them in gold? Because we want to recreate the rebooted version of the Golden Ninja. Because like there's this episode where they all turn themselves gold,
right.
and they've been re-releasing these figures, but with the wrong mask piece. Like I'll show you an example really quick here, because I own one of the ones that I'm talking about. So here it is. It was included in the accessory pack. It's perfect. The torso printing's perfect. It's just the wrap. We want there to be the hair piece, which people can easily get, but it's just the mask. We want this mask in gold. That's all we
Right.
want. It's not that hard as far as Ninjago fans can tell. So
Yeah, I wonder if there's a reason when it comes to gold or pearlized colors why they won't do a lot of elements in a certain color.
well, my theory is based on the silhouettes of the back of the Golden Legacy boxes. Is one of them is gonna? It looks like it's not gonna have like a full size mat. It looks like it might just do what I'm saying, and so that's gonna whatever set that figure is gonna come in is gonna sell like hotcakes just for that mask piece.
Oh, so you really think it's going to drive sales?
It's going to be the main factor, yeah. That, or at least the bricks and pieces for if they put it onto there, is going to sell out instantly.
Geez, you know what? Maybe we gotta get out of Star Wars and start looking at Ninjago more, or at least I do for the investment sets going into storage. Maybe I'm definitely. Well, I mean, you know what? I'll tell you, most Star Wars sets are not good investments in the short term. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much of them, and they're way overproduced. I shouldn't say overproduced. That's a bad word, but there's so much of it, and there's so many people buying and speculating that only a handful of people are ever going to make real money on Star Wars. There's good
Yeah,
stuff like, hey, UCS are great, especially a couple years after it's been retired, because Star Wars is never going to stop bringing in new fans.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like
But
I'm taking a gamble having a 501st in my seal because I'd like to think that once it retires a few years later, people are still going to be paying lots of money for it.
I think there'll come a time, and well, here's the thing: there'll be like a magic window, I think, where people are going to want it, and there'll be some value to it, right up until all the guys who are sitting on 10, 20, 30, 40 sets either break the sets to sell the figures individually, and that sucks because then you'll have the one figure being high and everything else going for junk value. But regardless of what they do, there'll be a dumping on the market, and then
Mm-hmm.
it'll drive the numbers down. And that's what's going to suck for anyone who was just bought the one as an investment piece, like they buy one and build one kind of deal, and they're going to get burned. And it's like when the guys buy 10 or 20 or 30 for investment, I don't feel bad for them. Whoops.
Yeah.
And I can say this, and Ryan knows I've been flipping some sets,
Yeah.
and I've done very okay.
I mean, like again, from a Ninjago standpoint, the most popular Ninjago set that's released this year that comes with the golden figure is the Tournament of Elements, and it's not even for the golden figure; it's for all those elemental masters. And so a part of me is like, okay, it's probably if I get it for review purposes, it's going to bring in the views possibly. But a part of me is also like, do I bother buying a second one just to use for investment purposes?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Um,
that 501st set. I bought one. I'm kicking around the idea of whether I will get a second one because I would like to open it, but I kind of want to have a sealed one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably still eventually here sometime in the next probably 6 months I'll pick up another one. But
See, I don't think it's crazy to buy that one extra And then I put up what Mama was saying. Am I the only one who buys Lego for fun? No, I like to think I border both pretty good. I'm a builder, though. Everything behind me, I say it every time. I'm going to build them all, virtually everything. And but I don't think there's anything wrong with buying that one extra set. Just because
Yeah.
you think it'll be something, and maybe that'll help you towards your next purchase down the road. I don't think that's a big deal.
Well, for me, every set I get, I plan to open, unless it's like an extra, then I don't see the point in opening it. Although the
Hmm.
501st Battle Pack's a whole different story. Or if it's just like a small promo I just don't care for, and I just got it because it was a promo, then that also as well. There is two Ninjago sets that I don't own that I could open, but they're just the first and second wave, and they're sealed, and they're already going for lots, and it's just I would feel bad if I devalued it by opening it. You
Yeah.
know?
The only one I'm even kind of on the fence of not opening is the Vader bust.
Oh, I don't think I would open that, in my personal opinion, because wasn't that like a Target exclusive and had a very limited run?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm very hopeful that we get the a new bust of it this year in a new
Oh
box
yeah.
or whatever.
Well, that's the rumor so far.
And I'll be happy for it. Ooh, I love this piece here. I don't see this nearly enough. I'm not going to put it on any bigger screen here. Let's
Is that
see.
that black one that's
Yeah,
what
why
is
is this not
a
working for me?
tile with a
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a 2x2 with an upright 1x2. Neat piece. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I come across this. I'm sure I have, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
neat.
I saw that too.
So I was looking at it like, oh, that is something that needs to be acknowledged. That's a great piece. But I could tell you where it looks like it would split easy when I see the mold points. It's like, oh boy, that's something like 20 years down the road. There might not be a
Yeah.
lot of. That could be a rare piece. People trying to fix a set where that's been buggered up.
Oh yeah, I tried ordering pieces for my Battle for Ninjago City set, and like I need some parts in order to continue repairing it. And one of the parts like, yeah, we don't have it in that color anymore. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I might just take a trip down to the brick bin, that unofficial Lego store, because he might have it. And if he's selling it for like 5 cents, I'm hoping then fine.
Yeah, it'd be okay at 5 cents, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm hearing myself through your computer again.
Me? I don't know. I don't have the
Let's
stream
see.
going.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm hearing that. Whose
Yeah, I
computer
don't
is
have
it?
one on my computer either.
Maybe try it again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now see, that's clean now.
Yeah.
Ah!
I just muted my end. And will it work if I leave and come back?
No, I don't think that's got anything to do with it. Maybe
Okay.
maybe wearing a headset, but I say that to everyone.
I'll go dig out one.
Because it's basically low-level feedback.
Yeah.
The curse of the modern age. I mean, look at my situation here. If I put all 3 cameras on and I take the 2 mutes off, and if I don't lie to the computer, like right now, 2 of my screens or 2 of my cameras are pointing to fake devices. If I don't do that, and I use its own echo cancellation, it can't do it. And that's what StreamYard's working on my end. There's no way it's going to cancel my voice on your end through your, let's say it's a half-second delay we got. Yeah, it's not Streamlabs, it's StreamYards. It's very
better now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's clean.
Okay.
But I mean, Ryan, I'll tell you. I mean, how many months did we play with trying to figure out my audio problems, Ryan?
Oh yeah. Probably the whole month of November.
The whole month of November, and the worst part was when I was hearing myself. It's like I sounded so drunk. And it got worse with every camera I would add. It's like, oh, come on, this can't be that hard to figure out. And right now I got 2 out of 3 pointing to the non-existent speaker in the monitor, and 2 out of 3 pointing to the mic that's in the laptop, but it doesn't work when the laptop is closed. That much I figured
Hmm.
out.
Well, I
So
think in the end, didn't you just quit? You just didn't use the software you had altogether, and
for a
you,
while,
you
yeah.
let
Well,
the
this was
phone
one
or
I was trying
something.
to make work too, and it's like, yeah. But yeah, it was, stream labs was okay. Regular OBS was okay. XSplit was actually the best, but it was also the most CPU intensive. So, and I'd still be on XSplit today if they hadn't screwed up their update. You know, they keep bugging me to come back to them because I was, not that I was a big streamer, but I was streaming regularly with their software and doing stuff with their stuff. And it's like they know I'm not using their software. And it's like, yeah, I'm just letting that subscription run out because, yeah, I'm not going to use it anymore. If I'm going to use anything, I'll use Streamlabs or Streamlabs OBS. Oh, you already pulled the plug out of it, did you?
You bet.
I've never gotten a set with a light brick, so I don't know what that's like.
No? Oh, it's so cool. Let's see. Yep, mine works too. SOS.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it takes to kill that battery. That reminds me, I know of at least 1 or 2 sets where I should go back and actually pull the battery out. You take the screw out of the base on the bottom of the plate,
Oh yeah.
because if you leave a battery in there for a long enough time. Remember, I had it was one of the Warthog sets that had light and sound functions. Well, it was already 7 years old by the time I got to it, and sure enough, I start talking about Halo, and look who shows up. Doom is here. But sure enough, that yellow Warthog or whatever it was with the light brick and sound effects, the battery was corroding the insides. I was lucky I caught it. If it gotten any worse, it would have actually ruined the elements.
Oh dang!
Yeah. Yeah, you can't leave batteries in anything. Even these small things would include batteries. Rip them out when you're not going to use them and put them in storage for a while. If
It
you really, if you're smart, put them in a tin can. You can keep it with it. Wrap it first in something so it doesn't conduct electricity. Then put it in a tin can so if it does leak, it can't hurt anything. If you
Hmm.
got like for us old timers, a Sucrets can. You get a little Sucrets tin. You put the battery in there. Perfect. But that's something I'll do with this eventually. Where am I at on this build? Ryan's ahead of me. That's clear. Oh,
it's
Doom didn't have that
they're a
Warthog.
small battery too. They're small.
Yeah, I can't remember what the numbering on that battery was, and it might be in really no, it's not even written on the bottom. Do not throw in garbage. I see that, so my eyes are good enough to see that. And I think it's 2 batteries, not one.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Because I
definitely.
see the 2X on there, but I can't tell what type of battery it is without opening it. I think it's a hearing aid battery, but it's small enough to be the hearing aid battery.
See, the one thing I'm worried about for getting this gardens is that people are saying once you start buying modulars, you want more and more modulars, and so
Yep,
these gardens it counts as a modular.
sure. Although
So
people who say they're going to merge them into their cities, I think they're on crack. I'm sorry. The Ninjago stuff looks crazy and amazing and fun builds. They don't look like they fit in anybody's city. So
no. Well, I
if
mean,
you
like
know,
I'm just gonna place mine on the shelf that's next to the city and quote unquote city, and well, that's what my dad wants at least. Me, I just want to put it on the left side of my desk because I know it's going to be tall. And he's like, "Oh, we can modify this the shelf above it," and I'm like, "It's not worth going through all that effort."
yeah, especially when you got things set up nice. I know a lot of people who continuously put holes in their walls to move shelves. It's like, no. Try and figure out your heights or get adjustable setup or something. Yeah. In my case, yeah, I just build bookcases and hide the holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't paint the walls. My wife is so afraid I'm just going to put bookcases on every wall. So you guys saw the photo of I chopped the kitchen table in half, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
T-Mog might not have. I'll have to send that to him. Anyway, I cut the kitchen table in half, moved the legs, and made a half-size table because she was only using half of it anyway. People thought I was joking I was going to do that. I went to work and showed everyone the photo of my kitchen table. It's now cut in half. They go, "Are you mad?" I go, "No." She was only using half and she wanted space. And I said, "I know how to make space." And I cut the table in half because she got me a cutting tool for Christmas. And it's like,
Gotta use it
okay,
somehow.
got to use it somehow. Oh my goodness. But it
That
actually worked out okay. Yeah.
makes you think of when people like get a divorce or whatever and cut everything in half.
Yep. Your half, my half.
Yeah.
And yep. No,
Fire up
absolutely.
saw and start cutting.
Yep. I mean, don't challenge me to make space. I can do it. Oh, I love how they made the hip joint. That is so cool. By using that ball joint like that, that's great. Cool.
Hmm. So I don't know if you paid attention to the Lego Ninjago movie promos when they came out, but there was a Ninjago movie poster promo that said "Visit Ninjago City." And so when I was looking at this, applying the stickers, I was quite surprised to see this tile
Oh,
because that's the exact same idea
wow.
for the promo. So
That's a neat collectible.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that sticker alone might be collectible as well. Just like people want it just for that. I don't know.
So it was a sticker on an element that's not a printed element?
No, it's not printed. It would be nice if some of these stuff were printed.
Yeah. Well, here's
Like,
the thing. Being a sticker will actually increase its value because guess what? In 10 or 20 years, the quality of, people will damage the sticker or moisture or smoke or whatever.
yeah.
So if you take a printed piece versus a stickered piece, the stickered piece over time will generally go up in value because it's going to be harder to get.
Hmm.
Because trust me, I've had to hunt down, stickers that you couldn't find anymore. So then I had to go to stickered parts. And it is rough when you see what people will charge for a stickered part of subpar condition that's starting to curl or whatever. They got you because you want the part to finish a set, and it's like you can't get the sticker anymore. No one was smart enough to take color photocopies of it so they could reproduce it or anything. What are we gonna do? You gotta buy. I've seen some people digitally remake it, based on photography and stuff, and that's one thing. But very few of us are that skilled.
Like I know I for sure my Ninja Copter. It's probably my one of my older sets. It's definitely got stickers curling, and I'm just like, do I just ignore it, or do I put some tape on it, or do I just look at investing in replacement stickers?
I've seen people do all of the above. Glue, tape. Yeah, it's something else.
Here's a
And then for my General Grievous Starfighter, it's missing the two pieces, and those two pieces need stickers on them. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Ouch.
just gonna say kind of an unrelated question.
Ooh.
3D printers, are they like fairly cheap now?
Okay, so between $100 and $300, you can definitely get into 3D printing. At say the $200 mark, you could print. Let's say you wanted to print your own brick. You could print your own bricks that'll snap together and snap to Lego. Really good. Lots of different materials you can use. Some better than others, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make like a Lego brick, well, you don't want something too soft, right?
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, what's the quality of it? Like, is it going to pass? Is it going to look seamless or clean as this? Probably not, because you might see the layers on the brick. Spend more money, get higher definition printer, use some of the better materials, you'll get better results. But the prices come way down, the quality's gone way up. The software out there for what's called slicing helps. Um, One of the biggest obstacles most people have, and they don't understand this, if you're going to have a 3D printer, you have to have it in an environment where there's no drastic change in air movement. So if you got fans or a good ventilation system that blows really hard, you want that as far away from that as possible, because you don't want something that's going to have an on-off cooling effect that's going to change the environment of the laser of the 3D printer doing its job. And the other thing you got to be careful of is vibrations. I've got a 200-pound steel desk here, and I can dance on it, and that's great. But a lot of people don't have anything sturdy they could put a printer on. Like, you get your home laser printer, or even the old school dot matrix printers, and it's moving and it's printing, and you can feel the vibrations. So you put a 3D printer on that, that's a recipe for disaster. You got to figure out how to shield it from vibrations, people slamming doors. I know it sounds extreme, but you really do if you want the best results, because you don't want to be printing for 6, 7, 8 hours and have something that might be good, and then take it off the platform and realize, oh, someone must have came in the house halfway through, because there's a whole layer that's garbage now.
Oh yeah.
And there's no fix. The whole thing is trash usually.
Well, two of the kids that my son goes to school with, two different families, these kids got 3D printers for Christmas.
Oh, fun
And
stuff.
one of them, Nathan, came home today, and one of the kids, good friends of ours, he made a little Among Us
Oh yeah.
figure.
No way.
And it comes in two pieces. You can unsnap it apart, but it's probably half the size of that. Like,
Sure.
so I don't know, 3.5, 4 inches tall, probably.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, he come home and he say, well, he did it on a 3D printer. I'm like, what? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you take a good look at it? Did you see all the lines that made it up, or do you feel it was pretty smooth? Because there's treatments for it.
I just saw it when we got home from picking him up from school, and I just glanced at it. I didn't take a real good look at it. I held it for a second, and it almost feels like a foam texture, almost.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah, there's so many materials you can use now. And some of them are great because you can swap them in and out. Some can do dual color or more now. It's come a long way.
Well, actually, the first thing I thought of was, these arcade machines I have. And actually, I'll have to send you a couple pictures, Jacob, so you can see what I got set up.
Okay.
The holes where you put the screws and all the panels, you got all these open holes. You can see the screws. And a few people are talking, use a 3D printer and make a colored plug to go into the hole and seal like you see it in some like furniture and stuff. They make little plug caps or whatever, eh? But yeah, I was thinking should get something like that, and I could cap everything off and look a lot cleaner.
Now, you got places like Thingiverse and a few other websites where everyone just uploads their 3D designs, and then you could use those or draw those into a program and tweak them yourself. I mean, that's a whole great hobby in itself, but that's a deep hole to go into.
Yeah.
But it's getting easier and easier, and I mean, the entry level you could probably get in. I know you could do it for as low as $100. But you'd probably be happier at the $200 level. Wheels of filament, you can get for as low as $10 on the cheap, but you might want to buy the better material. There's still stuff that can't be done well, like clear can't be done well yet. Translucent stuff. Unless it's changed since the last time I was poking my head in there.
Well, what it reminds me of is, I don't know if you remember that there's a Big Bang Theory episode where Howard and Raj buy a 3D printer and like, oh, they come down wait print. You can pick up a used one for $3,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you're
No,
getting $200.
it shows you that now that that tells you the era of the episode because
Yeah.
now you can get a Prusa or a Creality for $200-300 and be very happy with it, depending on what your needs are.
Hmm.
But now you've got the emulsion printers where instead of printing layers, you get a vat of liquid, and basically it's using a laser now, and it draws it right out of the liquid, almost Terminator style. It's
Wow.
the state of the art in this stuff's incredible. And even that was about 2 years ago when that was kicking off in a big way. I don't think anyone is going to print Lego and be happy though, because that's what we all want to do. We all want to print I mean, you can. Technic actually is really good with it because you can make your own custom gears and stuff to get the tooth count you want for timing and stuff.
Hmm.
Or to get, hey, you can make faster cars or whatever. If you can change the tooth count, you can have a lot of fun with gears and ratios
True.
and stuff. Ooh, slick. But yeah, that's definitely going to be another money pit because here's what happens. So you buy your printer, your first printer, you spend the first 6 months, you're happy with it, but of course you're not happy with it because you want better.
Yeah.
You will, during that whole time, invest in lots of different filaments, different colors, because you realize you're probably not a good painter, so you'll probably buy colors for what you want. A lot of black, a lot of gray, white for different things, whatever. And then you decide, oh, geez, you know what? Maybe I can be a good painter. So then you'll turn around, and while you're waiting to invest in the next 3D printer, you get yourself an airbrush. And now you go down that road in that hobby. Yeah, because everyone I know in the 3D printer world, they end up slipping into the airbrush stuff, and it's amazing how all this stuff brings you back around. But one of the best uses for 3D printers, tabletop games and miniatures. Because everyone who's ever played a game of Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, or Warhammer 40,000K with the miniatures, the money you spend in that hobby, stop spending that money. Get yourself 3D printer, learn that thing real quick. Start making your own miniatures. Either get I shouldn't say this, but get the rip-off designs of the 40,000K or get customs because there's a lot of customs out there. And some guys will sell you the designs, others have them free. And you could just have the most beautiful miniatures. Whether you're a game player or just a painter, and you just want to collect the cool stuff like the dragons or tanks or whatever. There's just so much stuff. And actually, the best thing I've seen to come out of that hobby was now you could 3D print the base plates or walls for structures or mazes or whatever RPG you're into. Now you can really build that world pretty cheap with a 3D printer. So it's a whole new level of geekdom has now come out of the 3D print world. Just when you thought, that kind of stuff was dead, like, no, people are getting back into tabletop games and miniatures because they have access to this technology that makes building out armies or walls or things cheaper. If you used to have to buy a floor plate for a maze or a dungeon, you'd spend $30-40 for one piece. You'd only ever be able to use it one way in a game. But now you get a 3D printer, and for what you spend on the one, you could build a whole desk like I've got. I think those kids, friends of yours, Ryan, of your child there, I got a feeling the parents must be into it too, because I can't just see someone buying the kid a 3D printer.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's a huge opportunity to upset your kids and and have a real upset house when no one can figure out how to make it work right.
Yeah.
Because there's a learning curve. There
Well, it'd be
is.
total rage quit for me, I think.
Yeah. Like, God damn, I just spent $10,
God
$10 on
damn.
this wheel of filament, 8 hours, and of course that's 8 hours you're not using the printer, and you can use the printers without having it hooked up to your computer all the time. You take the file, stick it on a pen drive, stick the pen drive into the printer, and you could do it that way. But very
Okay.
quickly, a lot of people don't do that, and they decide it's just better to have it hooked up to the computer and daisy chain it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't recommend that. I recommend you keep it separate. You don't want to lose the use of your home computer too for hours and hours because it takes a long time to even do a minimal print. That's why you see all of them time lapsed on YouTube. 8, 24. I think the longest one was a 24-hour print of something that was done in high resolution, uh, 7, 8 inches tall. It was very smooth though, and they still had to do what's called a finishing process to make the lines go away from each layer. I mean, this is going back 2 years, and the quality's gotten better. But there's a whole secondary process you can do, and if you're not careful, you could ruin it. But if you're careful, you make it look so much better. So it's like, yeah, huge learning curve. So you're going to run right out and get it?
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
recommend a few. Creality would be a good one. Actually, anything with that name on it, that'd be a good start. You know what though? You just go to some 3D print forums and just start reading. More than enough people will give you recommendations, and you'll definitely learn from their mistakes because as great as the successes are, to see people's mistakes is a funny thing. All
It'll
the
be cheaper just to talk to Aiden's mom and see if she'll just see if they can print what I want.
Oh sure, yeah, give him $10 and say I want this.
Yeah.
Yeah. SOS.
I want 24 black plugs and I want 24 lime green plugs. How much? Done.
Well, what you'll still need to do is come up with that design. So you'll either have to, use a 3D software CAD on your own. There's lots of
Yeah.
free CADs you can get though. You don't have to spend money. Lots of free CAD software out there. Um, or go on something like Thingiverse or somewhere else. That's the one I keep coming up with because that used to be the best known one, and as far as I can recall, was Thingiverse, and lift someone else's designs. Most are free, some are charged.
I guess the thing you'd have to get a caliper and take some measurements.
Really, the more precise, the better. But once you do that with the caliper and you know how to use the caliper, the software will it just lays it out for you really easy. Once you learn how to get around that. But most CAD software has simple examples that you could toy around with, and it's like, oh, that's how I'm going to get a box. That's how I'm going to get a cylinder. That's how I'm going to get a ball shape or a sphere. Then it's just a matter of tweaking that to what you find with the calipers, and it won't take you long. But it's easier when you have the printer because then you do trial and error. You do one print, small or half scale. That's the thing. You print it at half scale to see, is the shape even going to be right? It's like, okay, this should work. Then you do your proper print at full scale. Your friends aren't going to do that for you.
No.
Because that gets annoying super fast. But yeah, I know a lot of people who will do everything in half or quarter scale just to not waste stuff, just to see, is it even going to work? And then they go with full print.
So you got my brain thinking about digital designing and such, and that's leading me to like people who make custom Lego art designs, and then that led me down to a memory that I used to research. Where at the bigger, I think at the Leisure Square Lego store, they had a little booth where they took your photo and then they turn it into like a mosaic picture thing.
So where's Leisure Square?
London.
Oh yeah. No, the Lego store there has the big sit-in booth. You go in. I can't remember what you pay for it, and I think it's 64 studs or whatever. You get that thing printed out, and you get a
Yeah.
little box set. Yeah, I can't remember what it costs though. Trust me, if I ever or see when before everything happened last year, and my wife was going to the UK. Trust me, in the back of my head, I was thinking, her Girl Scout troop, that's going to be one of the stops I'm going to make them go to, and whether it's her picture or my daughter's picture, something's going to get made. I want something done, and absolutely, yeah. So here's the thing: you want to play around with that. You can do this right now for free. Do you have Stud.io from Bricklink?
No, I don't
Okay,
really have any
okay,
programs.
okay. So here you go. You go to Bricklink. You download Stud.io, free software. And one of the things you can do, I can't remember where the tab is or whatever. One of them is it gives you the ability to make the pixel art like just like those 4 sets came out last year. Yeah.
Mhm.
What's cool is you import whatever picture you want. You tell it the dimensions, usually square, but you can customize it, and then you give it a few parameters like how close do you want colors. You can make a grayscale. There's all kinds of color options. And then at the end, it'll tell you in Bricklink costs what it should cost you for the parts.
Okay.
Now, all it will do by default is give you um, the rounded studs, but I think they give you the option for square plates too. But anyway, you can do your own pixel art, and it'll do half the work for you. Now, it won't be perfect, but it'll be a starting point, and then you can add what more. I tried to do my logo. I gave it 1,000 pixel PNG of my logo, and then I chose whatever size I wanted, and I think it was going to come up to $250. But this was going to be a lot bigger than the art pieces that they sell. It was probably going to be 1.5 times the size, and that
Mhm.
was also going to cost me $5 for the square plates that go on the bottom that you build onto. But you could easily build it cheaper. And it's all about the size and the colors and stuff. But yeah, play with that software. You want to start playing around with Lego art, just as photography art. You got the
Mm.
software. It's free. Costs you nothing.
Yeah.
And it seems like it was like something that slipped under the radar for most people because when it was added to Stud.io, it's like I don't know, people were just very quiet about it. I thought, why are they being so quiet about it? I mean, people have been wanting this for a long time, even
Hmm.
before the pixel art sets came out. I'm glad it's there. It was fun to play with. I played with it for hours and hours, and I just thought, oh, I'm not going to spend that much money because here's the thing: while it can give you an estimate of the cost of the parts, now tell me what's going to cost for shipping, because that's the curse of Bricklink, right?
Yep.
You're not going to find it all in one place. But here's the thing: most of those parts for the art, anyway, you'll get from Lego, and you'll get that with one shipping cost, and it'll probably only be like $5 or whatever. So I don't let the cost scare you. That's for sure. Let the
True.
software design it for you. Then take the color codes, figure it out, go to Lego, and price it out on Lego. And I'll bet you do a lot better ordering it straight from Lego.
Hmm.
So, is there a piece of art in particular you're thinking of, or?
Oh no, it's just the fact that you were talking about digital designing stuff, and that just made me remember of like because Brixie he did a thing for Emperor Palpatine Lego art, and then that reminded me of that Lego store fact. Just loophole after loophole of memories and facts.
Yeah. No, one little thing will trigger. Someone will say something and it'll trigger a memory.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that
Oh.
Palpatine, I saw that just the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, is like started to wonder, was that something that was with that Sith art, and realized,
Mhm.
oh no, that's a mock.
Yeah. I'm already disappointed with this set. I imagine you've
Also,
already. Well, I'm sure Ryan's ahead of me. You've already built the head, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so the light brick is its eye or head or whatever.
yeah.
Well, to me, it's disappointing because when you don't push it, you don't see that, kind of red glow. And I would rather just put a red brick in there or something.
Yeah, instead of that blue one.
In fact, I
You gotta
wonder what
find
it
a way
would
to up
look
the
like with
price.
the trans brick in there. Because I bet you that would look cool. Just to
You
have
gotta
the.
find a way to up the price, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, that's disappointing. I see that as something I'm going to modify. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky. I like the neck and joint. That's kind of cool, though.
Hmm.
Gives it a little character. You got a lot of positioning with the neck. It just seems, I don't know. I guess I like the idea of a permanent red because I don't want to be pushing the light all the time. I mean, that battery will be dead in an hour, but I don't know.
So like when I opened up the box of the Gardens, like as for my Lego store, they're giving it away with it being in the shipping box. Apparently for Brixie, that wasn't the case. So I was like,
He
yes,
get
I
he
like getting.
gets he gets screwed a lot, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
for
not
me,
that not that I want him to get screwed a lot, but
oh yeah, yeah. For me, I'm like happy to get the shipping box. That's just like an added bonus, in my opinion. It's not to other people, but
well, what's
it is
funny?
to me.
Yeah, what's funny is so that when I opened up that Game of Thrones set earlier, and I was covering up the fact that it says right on it what it is, when I was about to throw it out, basically throw it into the living room, which means tomorrow morning it'd be in the garbage. Um, I realized, you know what, that's the shipping box, and if I'm not going to build it for probably 4 or 5 months or longer, maybe I should just leave it in that shipping box.
Hmm.
It's sad though. I could see how it got crunched in the shipping box. You dirty FedEx buggers.
And yeah, anyway, I opened it up and the shipping box, and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna do this out? Like I was already streaming, and I'm like, okay, let's mess around with this. I put it on its side and just had to like pad it out because I didn't want to damage the box.
Okay.
Okay, and then I was like, do I open it from the top or the bottom? I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna store this underneath my desk. I'll just have the bottom opened up, and then I was like, okay, this is probably gonna be UCS style, the packaging where they have like the boxes within a box, and then that'll be the bags. And I poured out, and like they got one big box right here, and that has the first 11 bags, and
Okay.
then the rest of them are underneath it. And I'm like, this will be fun. And then, oh yeah, the instructions were in that box as well, so that was good. And I'm like, okay, I see the stickers. I see that there's 3 instruction booklets. Then I'm like, what's this thing in between those? It's because I was like, what the heck is this? It's Ninjago themed, but it looks interesting.
Oh, like a little cardstock poster card. Okay.
Yeah, it was done by a fan. And I remember watching the little podcast thing that Lego uploaded to their channel while I was waiting in line. I watched some of it, and the guy was talking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I saw it. And then I was like, wait, they actually included it in the gardens?
Nice. I mean, those are those little cheap things that I think it just add value. People like
Yeah.
it, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. I certainly like it. It's based off of the pilot season, so has a little bit of nostalgia for me there.
I'm just checking up with the channel here. My first computer had 2G and cost me over $2,000. Wow. My first computer, it wasn't my first, but first one I had for high school was 386, 2 megabytes of RAM, had a 127 megabyte hard drive. Megabyte. Not gigs, not terabytes, none of that stuff. Megabyte. Um, had Windows, wow, Windows 3 or 3.11 on it. Yeah, that's old. Had WordPerfect, not even Microsoft Word, had WordPerfect 5.1. DOS, which was blue, white text on a blue background. So,
I can
yeah.
remember when I was in grade 4, we having our first computers at school, and they were those Uh, were they called the Apple II or the Apple?
Could have been the Apple II.
It's the one that, remember there was the big commercial they had at the Super Bowl for the Apple. It was that one anyway. Whatever they were feeling then.
I imagine it was the II then.
Yeah, but I can remember that's the first computer I ever used.
Oh,
and
wow.
they had a ton of them. I bet you. Well, in grade 4, they only had a couple. By the time we moved into the big, out of the elementary school, they had a computer room, and I bet you they had 25 of them in there.
Okay.
I can only imagine what the cost was back then for them.
Oh, I can't remember. I'm not even going to pretend to remember. It was probably a $2,000 machine, though. I mean, because that's been the weird thing is like the cost of a half decent machine has kind of always sort of stayed the same. It's what you got for your money that's kind of changed a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 386, that 386 was $1,000 machine. That was $1,000 machine at the time. I'm pretty sure.
No wonder our school almost went under back then.
Oh, computers were a crazy investment. If you didn't have partnerships with the business or with the computer guys themselves, it was very hard for the schools to get anything.
Yeah, I remember in my elementary, it took a while for them to upgrade from the apples we had to the more current ones at the time. I'm trying to remember. It was like I want to call it a brick because it was. I remember trying to lift it up for fun, and it was that heavy to me, and it kind of looked like it looked. I don't know. It had like a little slope to it. Like you had the screen, and then you had the little dip to it, and I don't know how to describe. I don't know which apple it was, but I don't know. And then they were trying to upgrade to the ones that were just like the screens, and that was the computer, I think.
In high school, we had Unisys Icon machines. You probably won't know what these are, but our computer lab was full of them. Great machines for what they were. Big beasts, though. And people were such pricks. They stole all the balls, because all the mice back then had a ball in them. So they would steal the ball out of the mice, and you sit down, yeah, it's finally my chance. And your mouse wouldn't work because the ball was missing, because all the mice had balls back then. And it was the same thing with the base ones, because there was a trackball in the base of a lot of the Icon machines. So where's the ball? It's gone. That
Guilty.
was a constant struggle. Oh, guilty, right? See?
Why,
Constant struggle.
Why go through that trouble though? What was the deal for stealing the balls? That's what I don't get.
Well, for one thing, you didn't have to do computer class because you couldn't move the mouse.
You get so much action for taking it. Somebody has to do work with it. The mouse wouldn't work.
Yep. Oh, it was funny at first, but then, you end up at a point where we had 30 computers and 6 had the ball. It's like, are you kidding? Yeah.
Those balls would be flying all over the computer room, too. You whip them at each other when someone wasn't looking.
I think for me, the issue was like when we had the Apple laptops, we would be full of misfortune if you got one that was missing keys, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. When I ran one of our satellite operations. What was supposed to be 6 weeks became 8 months back in 2013 for Walmart. And when I did that, it was just offsite storage, but I was in there by myself at first. And then they eventually gave me a laptop. It had no letter T or something. You know how hard it is to type with no T? But I'm smarter than they are, right? It did have a mouse, so I used an on-screen keyboard. So then what I did was I would fire it up once, and I would copy the one T. Or I would take a text and copy the T, one or the other. And then whenever I needed that letter, Control V, paste. So you're typing something, paste. Try typing a paragraph and one letter is missing, and you had to Control V every time you need that one letter. But I did it. I did that for 8 months. I kid you not.
Oh no!
Yeah, because they wouldn't give me another laptop. I didn't even want the laptop. I did almost everything on my cell phone anyway. But there was a few times I had to use the laptop, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine.
I would have put in for an external keyboard or a USB
I was
keyboard.
going to bring mine. I really was. I was going to bring mine, and I don't know, because I wasn't using it enough during the day. I didn't care so much. And like I said, I was using the phone, and they were giving me, the $30 a month for the cell phone, and then I was getting the 50 a week for my gas money. So, I just choked it up too. I'm already getting a pretty good deal here.
Hmm.
At least I thought I was. It's still the best time of my life working. I mean, the time I ran that building.
Right.
I mean, one of the guys who I got hired on during that time, who now works beside me as equals, I mean, he curses me now, like, Rick, I should never have listened to you. I should never have come to this company or to this operation. And it's like, yeah, well, what do you want?
Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you. Oh, no, we're good friends and stuff, and I love him to death. He's going to be retired this year. He's got a good 10 plus years on me, but yeah, he's going to be out in September. So he says. I think it's
Hmm.
going to kill him because he's a workaholic. Like he's a machine. He outperforms all the guys younger than him. Him and me, we get along so good just because of the way we think. Bag 2, finally.
How many bags are there?
There was 4, and I'm just starting 2.
Oh no! And what bag are you on? I forget your name. Sorry,
Ryan,
Ryan.
Ryan. What bag are you on, Ryan?
like half, at least halfway through 2.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. What did I do wrong there? No, 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 no. I was trying something.
The only thing holding me back is the stickers so far.
I know that there's some people who like apply the stickers after they build.
Which makes sense some of the time, but depending on where a sticker is, it might be awkward. Well, that's the thing. You won't see me, put the sticker on the build like that one there. So, yeah, I guess I'd like to do it on the fly. It usually pays off for me.
I'm kicking myself because I'm thinking I should have just taken a picture when I finished the first stream of this city builds, and then just like take a picture every time I end the stream and see how far.
I in the past I've set up an older cell phone as a stop motion where I would
Mhm.
have it take timed pictures, and I've also used a Bluetooth trigger with a cell phone to take a picture every. I've done it every piece. I've done it every page. I've played all those games, and I've had fun with them um, to
Hmm.
get different results. So I can document as I go. It's something I've thought about because I've still got like an iPhone 4 sitting around that trigger would work with. And the Bluetooth triggers are like $3 in like a Chinese store, or probably less online.
Yeah. I'm thinking now, actually, the parts that I did do today, they're on jumpers. So I could technically recreate day one's
I've
picture.
done I've done that too. I've reversed some stuff just to get to something and then put them back on. And because
Yeah.
I had a good idea at the time, and it's like, oh, I should have done this. Well, I can do it. No one will care.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. In the end, it's your hobby.
Yo,
What
yeah.
you know, I do a lot of my builds online now, and it's like this is the way I like to do it, and it's
Mm,
cool, especially now because I get to talk and chat as I go, as
yeah.
opposed to listen to my wife's. What's that channel? The W channel, the women's channel. Oh my God! And here's what's horrible about it. It's not that the shows are bad, but we've seen the same shows over and over and over the years where
Yeah.
and the same actors are acting in the same romance movies year after year after year. I swear there's only like 20 actors and they all mix and mingle, and you
That
can't tell
sounds like
one
the
movie
Hallmark
from
Channel.
like the Hallmark Channel
I
and
was
all
gonna
that,
say
and it's
Hallmark movie's still playing.
yeah, and it's
Well,
like
I spent a month at my Nana's, and that's all she wanted to watch is Hallmark movies. And like, I watched like three, and I'm like, okay, they're just taking the script and throwing a remix on it, with especially with the actors. No, thank you. I'm gonna go upstairs and mess around with my Lego.
yeah, I mean there's any number of things you'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
You know,
She still tries to get me to watch it. I'm like, no, thank you.
I love you, Nana, but you're
Yeah.
killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, and what's worse is I end up remembering stuff better than my wife. No, I believe she doesn't remember. I do. I don't think she's lying, but it's like I go, and they're about to buy a bakery together, and she goes, "What?" I go, "They're going to have a bakery together now," and because I remember this stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, the shows are just, and sometimes it's not even good acting. That's even worse. That is even worse.
We see a lot of HGTV in our house.
Which is okay, actually. And
Yeah.
my wife will. Oh, here's the one my wife watches. Not HGTV, it's something else. The Pimple Popper lady.
Oh no.
Oh my God, my wife is fascinated with this.
I had to get that myself out of watching that YouTube channel.
Oh, YouTube. Why is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I
Oh
was
my
just fascinated
God.
by the looks of that kind of stuff too, and then I was like, nope, nope, let's just get out of that for a
Yeah.
while.
Oh. And I don't know why, but it seems like it's on near or around when we would eat dinner sometimes. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I accept the fact we don't eat at a kitchen table much anymore, hence why I chopped my table in half. But I don't want to be grossed out.
Yeah. I just want to enjoy my meal.
Come on. I come home every night. I make sure I'm home for dinner. I'm a good dad. But, like, you're killing me. But I can't. That show, I mean, I can only watch a few minutes of it. And then usually there's that one case or that one guy or whatever. And they just, it's.
I feel like for me, it's like if I watch too much of it, then I start feeling what you feeling. You say you feel.
And yeah, and it's, it's not like, I've had a fun time with it because I've had, my share of acne problems and whatever over the years. So it's like, I really don't want to be watching this. I don't take any joy in what problems these people are going through. I feel better that whatever I had was never as bad as they had, but it's like, I really don't want to see this. It's not entertaining for me anyway.
It's entertaining for me in different ways. For me, it's like, okay, look at the size of the thing, and then look at the way it comes out.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, here's something. So when I must have been 17 or 18, I was heavy into bike riding in high school and stuff, and I got this weird infection in my ankle, which I assumed was from scratches or scrapes from a bicycle chain or whatever, because I was always beat up and scratched up and whatever. And it swelled up, and I treated it wrongly. I was wrapping it with a tensor, thinking it was something else, and in the end, it was whatever nasty pusness happening, And we finally get to a point where I gotta go to a hospital because I'm starting to get,
Ooh.
well, it's not just big, but I'm getting a fever. So my body's fighting an infection clearly. So all right, my wife convinced me, let's go to hospital, whatever. And they take a look at it. Okay, this is definitely something. They're poking my ankle. It hurts. And they said, okay, well, we're gonna stick a needle in you, right? All right. Okay, some nasty colors. Yeah, some stuff. That's nothing. My wife is giggling her ass off. I'm in pain. Then they say, okay, well, they're going to use the little surgical snips. We got to cut it open,
Oh,
So
great.
I don't know, an inch and a half into my ankle. She's giggling. She's having a great old time. I'm bawling. I'm not afraid to admit. I am bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
I'm in rough shape. Um, yeah, that was just so. This is a St. Joseph's Hospital here in Toronto. They send me home, and I end up getting private nurse care like twice a day for a month or a month and a half. Because what they do is they pack it. They didn't want to just stitch me up. They said, no, we want this to close naturally. So they
Yeah.
packed me up, and then 2 times a day, a nurse comes to clean it out and repack it, clean it out, repack it. So it
That's
closes
gotta
up
hurt. I'm
naturally.
assuming.
Well, eventually it doesn't hurt anymore, and then you get to a
Yeah.
point where you repack it yourself, and then you don't need the nurse, and then 2 weeks after that, it's all closed up. But I got this permanent scar, and it's that reminder of the joy my wife had giggling her ass off
Yeah.
when that doctor was poking my, let's call it what it is, the pimple from hell, you know, 3 inches wide on my ankle or whatever, taking over. Fred, I called it,
Yeah.
and
Fred.
well, I didn't know what it was. I thought somebody was busted or broken, and you wrap it and try and get by. But I was like, no, it was basically something in that pimple family, and yeah, that's always going to be in the back of my head. My wife laughing at me. But to her credit, she's also the one who made me go to hospital and get it fixed. So,
Hmm.
because I was, you know, I wasn't being too terribly smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that shit checked out because you never know. Because here's the thing: if that thing gets bigger and bigger, um, whatever that stuff was could eat away at something important. A ligament,
Mm.
a tendon, a bone. You don't know what's in there, right? So I was probably foolish for waiting so long. So
Yeah.
she might have saved my ankle. Who knows? But yeah, that's always back there. It's funny that she didn't get into medicine. See, I was going to go into dental stuff because I was interested in that. But for her, it was culinary arts. That's what she first went to college for. But then it was, well, that's a lot of standing. If you're going to be a chef, you're going to be standing all day, every day, forever.
I should tell my best friend that because like he's thinking he can do that kind of stuff, and I know
Here's the
him.
thing.
He's not going to be able to do that.
Well, I'm a warehouse guy. All the machines I'm on, I stand. None of my machines are sit down. So since '97, I've been standing 8 and 10 hours a day my whole life. A lot of people can't do that. And culinary arts, guess what? You're in a kitchen. You start out as a sous chef. You don't get to start out doing the cool stuff. You're going to make broth and soup and do a lot of cutting for someone else usually. That's usually how you'll start. And I mean, that's a long life of standing. And you never get to sit until you get to be owner. And then even when you're owner, you don't get to sit because then you realize if you sit, you're not making money.
Hmm.
Someone's not doing something right. But it's not that I would discourage someone from doing it, but it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, waiting 5 hours for Lego, I have like by the time I'm like within the last half hour of waiting, I am like I can't. I need to sit down.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's another case of so I can stand all day. I can walk all day. I've walked 27 kilometers in a day like that. I Pokemon Go around Toronto. I leave my place, and I'll go 6 kilometers to Yonge Street, 9 kilometers down to the lake, 6 or 7 ish across the lake, and then back up or whatever. You do the math. I've done that walk a few times in my life. Not a big deal. Now, ask me to stand still for an hour at Costco. Still, that's tough. That's hard
Hmm.
because you're not moving, and I'll
Yep.
feel the pain in my hips and stuff. It's like nope. But if you're
That's
moving even slightly, a few feet back and forth, or whatever, it makes a big difference. But if you guys stand still, kiss of death.
oh, oh yeah. Well, the thing is, like for Chinook Mall, they like have the little circles that they want you to stand on, and if you move out of that circle, you got people looking at you like you're the plague.
Yeah.
So
Now, Mama's going to gross us out here. Let's see. Hubby had a boil on his face when he finally went to the hospital. They rushed him into isolation. They was flesh-eating disease. Wow.
ooh,
Okay. Well, I got that beat. It's not a personal story though. Yeah, you don't want to do Pokemon. My wife doesn't want to walk with me either, Mama, because when we would go out for exercise, like it's nothing for me to walk. It just isn't. I got soccer legs. My upper legs are very strong, and I'm used to walking. Even in the summer, Ryan might remember I would go for the long walks and then come home and start those builds. Well,
Yeah.
I was getting longer and longer, getting back into the walking shape of 7K, 10K, 14K, 19K. Where was it going to stop? Well, the one day I was bleeding from my toes.
Yeah.
I got home. Is this normal? I'm bleeding in my sock. And, I didn't really pay attention to it, and it's like, yeah, you take the sock out after, like, oh, that's not good, you know. But you clean it up, you treat it, that's all good. Yeah, you don't want to do Pokemon Go. Although I'll take you to all the best places, Young Street, Bloor Street, College Street, Dundas Street. We'll get all the Pokemon and we'll get all the free spinners. I know all the good spots in Toronto. Harborfront. But, oh yeah, so that was the gross thing. This flesh-eating disease that Mama mentioned, someone got it from strawberries a bunch of years ago. So the guy had a pint of strawberries, and and you've all had fruit, blueberries, strawberries, whatever. You get mold in the fridge sometimes, because you've left it a day or two too long. Smart people pitch the whole thing and clean the fridge. Other people throw out just the bad ones and wash the good ones, right?
That sounds like my dad.
So he did whatever. I assume he had washed some and did whatever. So he ate strawberries. The next day he was very nasally, right? Had a big issue. And so when he finally got checked out, they thought, oh, he was just having some minor problems. Again, steroids, puffers and crap for his nose. Well, all that did was make things worse. It turns out he had the flesh-eating disease that came from strawberries. It ate out eventually the inside of his nose. They had to take to save his life, his nose, his eyes, and his upper palate. So I don't even know if his chin survived, but basically the front of his face was hollowed out. Real story. And it's like, for years I was so afraid of strawberries and fruit-based molds and stuff because it's like, I don't know. So I tell my wife every time, you even think it's slightly going, you pitch that stuff. Because it's like, that was a real deal story. And it's like, no, you never know. And here's the problem. Quebec had a lot of flesh-eating disease at the time. So they had like 6 cases that one summer, and it's like, oh, I don't want no fruit or veggies from that province. It's like, but it could be from anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was flipping out. I was paranoid, but I was really, really scared of fruits and veggies for a while.
Well, thanks a lot, Richard, because now I won't be buying strawberries.
Same.
Blueberries. But for him it was strawberries. It was a pint, pints of strawberries.
Well, I get 1 pound blister pack, and typically we've got these containers. We put them in the fridge, and they keep them fresh a lot longer. But I'll go through them, and you sometimes find the odd. But I find it's tough to find a pack of strawberries that doesn't have any that are starting to go. So I always go through them, and any that are kind of iffy, pitched, and I put all the good ones in the container. Well, now I'm going to be having second thoughts.
I'm just at a point. I don't play games with the food, and I tell my wife this: if you suspect whatever it is, pitch it. $5 a hamburger. Guess if you suspect because you didn't like the color of it once it was defrosting, pitch it, because we can't afford to get sick. I mean, I've been food poisoned so many times in my life. It's like, no, just pitch it.
Especially for me, we're feeding our kids. Like, typically the strawberries aren't for me. They're for the kids for their lunches. So the last thing I'm going to do is...
Oh, great. So now I've really scared you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, real story. In fact, I bet you could YouTube it and see the article on it.
Here to see if they include images.
Yeah.
When in doubt, throw out. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're always in doubt? You buy a thing of strawberries fresh and you're doubtful, so you just pitch it?
Yeah. We have. Well, here's the thing. So my wife's responsible for the food shopping, so I might not see this stuff for a day or two, and then I'll say, when did we get this? And she'll tell me, and I go, did you see this? And she'll go, no. And I go, I do my best Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, like my mom, she got me a thing of cheese sticks once, and I opened up the thing, and they were
cheese is my kryptonite. I have been hospitalized. Because of cheese, not because it was bad, because I'm stupid. I can eat so much of it that everything stops.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, so she got me these. These are brand new. The expiry date wasn't for at least another however long. It was basically fresh, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I opened it up, and at least half the pack had moldy cheese
Oh,
sticks.
I know from real cheese, a lot of people who will still eat it when they see the mold on it. Because the thing is, you can buy blue cheese,
Yeah.
cheese, and that's certain molds and fungi, whatever, doing its thing, and you expect that. But to see it on the wrong color cheese, like, I
I,
tell
my
you,
dad, my
We were
dad,
brought
he
up
just
that way.
thinks that you could just pick it off and that it's still good to eat.
there's absolutely a lot of people who think that.
We were brought up that way. Like if you'd have the block of cheese and you cut off what you needed, put it in the fridge 3-4 days later because you touched it with your hands,
Yes.
there'd be mold growing. So what do? You cut the mold off,
Yeah.
go ahead and use the rest.
It
We
it was
always did that.
it was like that for me and my mom and my dad and my family. When I was growing up, we didn't throw out food if at all possible. So we did exactly that. You salvaged what you could.
Yeah.
These I don't do that. And it's funny, I do like blue cheese. Like I can eat blue cheese, but I know it's intended to be that way. But if I see orange cheese or mozzarella or whatever, like going, like it's gone.
Yeah.
If I smell it too. By the way, you open up the pack
Hmm.
and I smell it. Actually, we hit a block of white where the seal didn't seem to be good because it seemed like there was air in there. I told my wife. She goes, "What?" I said, "That seal is broken. Sorry, not eating it. Don't care, not eating it." And she's hardly touching it. So if I'm not eating it, and no one will, because my daughter doesn't eat much of it, because her lactose problems are much stronger than mine.
Hmm.
Um, I am slightly lactose intolerant. My daughter more so. She's been suffering a lot. I suffer willingly. There's, like I like ice cream and I like cheese, so I'm willing to put up with a certain amount of pain. Oh, I got a sticker to do here. Which one? Number one. Number one's caution. Did we miss any more disgusting stories from Mama? Let's see.
Mm-mm. I wonder how many people we've chased away just because they joined the stream and they see us
Oh,
talking about that.
I don't know. Miss Pimple Popper. Let's see.
Open, build, repeat.
Where? Where? Oh,
He's in
wow.
chat.
Hey, Erwin. How you doing? You keep some strange hours, Erwin. Excuse me. Let's see. Hubby had a boil. Okay, so I'm all caught up, and now Erwin's here, and we haven't chased him. Mama says when in doubt, throw out. Then you don't buy. Yeah. And then see, we've been lately, actually since COVID days, using Walmart grocery delivery and such, and it's like, well, for the most part, it's good, but sometimes we get stuck with a stinker. Now, at least with Walmart grocery delivery, we get a refund, right?
Hmm.
We call them, say, hey, such and such was bad, and they're really good about fixing it. But yeah, there's definitely food we throw out every week. Not that we're trying to, but when I was a kid, it was always there's starving kids in Africa, and then we would say something stupid like, "Send it to them, then." Give
That's
them
the same
my
kind of
food.
yeah, that's the same kind of stuff I'm told today. Like, if I don't want to eat something, well, there's kids starving in Africa, and I'm just like, yeah, I know, but we're not in Africa.
Yeah. I've already donated to them, but you're welcome to donate this to them too. Um, yeah. Oh, hey, when I was a kid, when I was really young, I remember the times when my dad would say, "You can't leave the table until you ate all your food," right? Well, these would be battles. These would be 3 and 4 and 5 hours long, and usually it was my mom who would have to suffer because my dad wasn't going to sit there and watch me. It'd be my mom usually. So we'd be in the in the kitchen, me and my sister, because usually if I didn't like it, she didn't like it, and we just wouldn't eat the food, and then eventually get to a point where we're throwing the food and doing whatever. And there's a lot of like I remember when we moved out of that first place I lived in as a kid, there was peanut butter on my ceiling because the kitchen had like 12-foot high. We were on the top floor and it had 12-foot high ceilings. And because technically you would probably call it an attic, but it was an apartment. But the kitchen was shaped like the top of the house. And sure enough, we'd be sitting there and going fling with the whatever it was, the food, and no one could reach it. We had no ladders. It was disgusting. The food was up there. And then when we moved out, and my dad looked up, and, boy, there's a lot of memories up there. I go, yep, Dad. A lot of memories. Not all good. Not all good. Well, the thing is, my dad worked really hard, so I get it. You're not wasting my food. The era he grew up in, you didn't. You did not waste it. And even rotten food, there's things you could do with. There's ways of preparing rotten food so it won't poison you. I just don't recommend it to people. I mean, the spice trade grew largely out of the fact that people were eating rotten meat in the 1500s. So you flavored and seasoned your rotting meat because you didn't have refrigeration with salts and peppers and other spices, and how good this is, because you needed your protein. And you weren't getting enough protein from fruits and veggies, so yeah, you ate the rotten meat and you were glad to have it. It's amazing how far we've come. It's like, no, I ain't gonna eat rotten food. I'm throwing it out.
I'm gonna go grab my tablet because I think I'm gonna go take those photos.
He's been thinking about it the whole time. Look at this. I forgot. I got my Canada Dry, and the reason I got the Canada Dry is because.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten recharged because when I put it on the charger, it was like 14%, and now it's fully charged.
It's fully charged. Quick charge. That's good.
Yeah.
I was saying I grabbed the ginger ale earlier because I had a migraine when we were doing the first stream, and it's like, oh, this is bad. So I took acetaminophen with caffeine and codeine, and if I take that with a pop, usually ginger ale because it's easier on my stomach, it knocks it right out of the park. Usually. And I forgot I had this Gatorade still sitting here. Yeah, you guys will be happy to know, especially Ryan, because he's seen me do a lot of streams where I had my monsters or whatever. I'm trying not to do monsters this year. That's a goal. Sugar is one thing, but the hyper caffeinated and other stimulants thing, I'm trying to bring it down a little. I'm not swearing off of it or anything, but yeah. I mean, let's be reasonable here.
Switching to Jolt.
Switching to Joel. Yeah, we're getting off Monster. I got a new sponsor. What's the Mountain Dew one? The fancy one?
Oh, Code Red? Code Red?
Well, no, Code Red's just a flavor, but they're... Oh, look at... Hey, Shazam there.
Hey, Bricks T.
Gimmick infringement. See, I don't recognize him because this Bricks T stuff, I mean... I know who Bricks Toys is, but...
Who's this Bricks T guy?
I don't know. I think he's a clone.
Yeah, he's got to be a clone.
I wonder if Jazz knows his son is up late using his account.
Sounds like another flavor of Nesty.
Nesty, Brixty. Oh, what's that? What's that iced tea one I don't like? Oh, man. Brisk. Brisk iced tea. I don't like it. No.
You don't like it? It tastes good.
No, nope, don't like
Me,
it.
at least.
I could drink it if I have to. Don't like it, though. Nope, don't like it. Not a fan.
I really don't like it when I'm in a restaurant and I ask for iced tea, and I taste it after they bring it to me, and I call it tea'd ice because it tastes like tea with ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real iced tea. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I can't stand. You know what I love is the crystal. Remember, it's the tins, the Good Host iced tea. Yeah,
Oh,
the crystals, like the.
yes. Yeah.
I can remember that as a kid. That was my favorite summer drink. Was that powdered iced tea? It's just pure sugar, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Especially if we were working in the field. It was good. Supper time. You've been drinking water all day, and that was just a treat. Have iced tea.
Mama says Lipton. Yes. Lipton cold iced tea. It was good. Real filtered iced tea. Hey, Mama, there's not a chance you're from Newfoundland, is there? Because last time I saw you on stream, I wanted to ask you. 'Cause my wife's from Newfoundland, and I don't know. I just heard a little something in your voice. Or Nova Scotian, and a little maritimer in you. Because at this point, I can usually sniff them out pretty good. Even if you haven't been down there in a long time. Oh, I made a mistake. What do you do with Lego when you make a mistake? It's so permanent. Ooh, yeah, that one don't want to come off. Oh, come out. Come on. There we go. I grabbed the wrong color, I think. So, yes, you're right, I did. I made a mistake. Because I refuse to build it the way they tell me to build it. Because it seems illogical.
Hmm.
Well, because I don't necessarily build the substructures. I'll keep building onto the build. And then I end up in a bad spot.
Right.
Because I'm not following instructions. Born in Toronto, raised in Brantford. I'm glad you were born in Toronto. That just means you're part of the superior race. Toronto's center of the universe. But Brantford, like, oh. Well, Brantford, at least you have what? Wayne Gretzky? Wasn't Gretzky from Brantford?
Sounds right.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't I'm hoping it's right. I'm going to lose my Canadian card if I'm wrong. Got to meet him when he visited to play us. He was still with Edmonton. And I want to say when I was in the Cub Scouts. Trying to remember now. Did one of those little social things they do, you know. Meet the local Toronto such and such, and that was me in the Cub Scouts. I hate not being able to find a piece. Where is it?
I think the longest I spent looking for a piece was 15 minutes. I just could not find it in the pile of bricks that I had in front of me.
Well, I used to be so anal about pre-sorting, and I've been not doing that, and there it is.
Yeah, it's time consuming.
Well, it is because, hey, on some of my videos and streams, I'd sit there like, okay, I look at what was a 4, 5, 6 hour a stream or combination of streams, and I look back, oh my God, but I sorted for an hour and a half.
First hour and a half is sorting.
Hour and a half was me sorting, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that to people. Then for a little while, I would pre-sort and not do it on stream, but then it's like, well, I could just as easily stream, and if people watch, great, and if not, oh, Mama's going to lose her card. You're losing your Canadian card.
How dare you?
Miss Eileen, I'm gonna out you. I'm gonna say your whole name on this stream, and everyone's gonna know. How can you say that? Is it because he didn't come to Toronto when we all thought he would during that series when we were doing really well? It was Toronto versus where was he? He had the black uniform on. It was like the second series of the playoffs. It was Toronto versus, was it L.A. he was with? Gretzky when he left Edmonton?
He went to LA after
L.A.
Edmonton.
So, wow. So I was like in whatever year of high school. And that year, we were doing really good in the series, and we were up against Edmonton. And during that year, it was amazing. I think it was his last year with his contract with LA. And the talk was Toronto's going to invest in Gretzky. Everyone was going nuts because we honestly thought it was going to happen. We were going to get Wayne
Yeah,
Gretzky. We were going to have Wayne Gretzky blue shirts, and like this is going to be great. We were so ready for it. Everyone was willing to invest $500 in merchandise. We all wanted Gretzky merchandise with a Leafs logo. And then he did whatever and re-signed for another year or two or whatever the crap was. But yeah, he broke our hearts. But he said he was interested. He said he wanted to end his career in Canada. Blah 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 blah. It was all there. But I'm convinced what he was really doing was just trying to up his value wherever he was to get more money where he was. And he didn't want to come back to Canada and shovel snow or whatever. Come on, you're in L.A. with your wife, who was kind of a TV movie star. She really wasn't. I dare anyone to tell me one thing she did in Hollywood. You can't do it. Not without cheating and going to Google.
What?
Because no one remembers anything his wife did in media or in movies.
She was in a movie with O.J. Simpson when O.J. Simpson was an actor. I'm sure she was.
Maybe she played the wife.
I would have to Google that.
Maybe.
But
They erected a statue of him when he was 21 and renamed the Park Street to Gretzky Road. Oh, I see. That's personal for you. Yeah, if I was living on Martin Drive or Martin Road and they renamed it to someone, that would bother me too. You know what? I think the Gretzky story is pretty cool, and what his father did for him growing up and stuff. I know it's been romanticized. I'm sure it's not as incredible as it sounds, but I mean, it's really cool. All the support he got from Dad, and Dad icing over the backyard or whatever. I mean, it's a great Canadian story.
yeah, you can't take anything away from it. He definitely did a lot to kind of encourage him into hockey anyway.
Oh yeah, and the time and cost, because you get ice rink time, whether it's to play the game or just skating, because he did a lot of that too, just skating and speed skating and stuff, just to get strong and fast. All that ice rink time, that costs money. Money and time. I mean, from all accounts, I think he sounded like he was a pretty good father, and that's saying something. There's not a lot of good role models sometimes. But I mean, him and his dad, they're both Canadian icons in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Gretzky.
That's going to be a heck of a funeral the day Gretzky goes. And then, can you imagine when that hits Canada someday? Wayne Gretzky has passed from whatever. Like that should be a huge, huge day.
Oh yeah.
I've seen our country and our leaders come up with some ridiculous special days and stuff for people who I don't think deserve it. But if he passes and they don't acknowledge it with like a certain day off or a celebration day or something, like I don't know. But that's not to say
Probably the
that
most popular Canadian for the whole probably all the 80s.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But, Gretzky's legacy isn't clean either in the sense that, if he didn't have guys like Coffey and Messier,
Semenko,
helping him out, protecting him, and there was a lot of protection needed. Because you almost never saw Gretzky get in a fight.
Oh.
He had his protection, and even the referees, everyone knew you didn't mess with Gretzky because Gretzky was the golden goose for hockey. Because wherever Edmonton was playing, especially during the dynasty years, big bucks, right? Because everyone was going to pack that arena. Everyone was going to buy merchandise. You don't hit Gretzky and you don't hurt him. You don't take him out of the game.
And if you tried something, Smink would take your block off.
Yeah.
His son Kelly lives in Brandon, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was married to a friend of my wife's, actually. They're since divorced, but he was actually after we moved into this house, him and his wife came over, and I was actually wanting him to do some work around the house. I had some leaky faucets and stuff like that. I wanted him to put some kits into the faucets to stop it from leaking, because you've probably seen a faucet, you turn it on, it leaks out the base or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not comfortable with plumbing and stuff. And I was like, want him to do it. He said, no, you can do it. You could easily do this yourself. Yeah, you could do it yourself. It's like, well, thanks for coming over. That's basically the reason I had you over.
Yeah.
Show you the house, and hey, do you want to do some work on the side? I'll pay you. No, you didn't want to. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, you can't fool everyone.
Yeah.
Pizza and beer doesn't do it for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone iced their backyard in Brantford. Actually, here in Toronto, those who had the space, like especially where I lived, a lot of the backyards were really big. My backyard was so big, there was a coach house in the back. It was a historical site, actually. It was deemed so towards the end of the time I was there, the first 24 years of my life. But a lot of my neighbors would do that. They would flood their backyards. Some of my other neighbors didn't like it because when that melted, it wasn't fun. But yeah, I mean, that's a big Canadian thing to ice your backyard over if you can. We love the fact, our schoolyard, we iced over our field, our soccer field. We'd ice it over and make 2 rinks. Had no sides to it. We pack up the snow and make a side that way. But yeah, that was a big deal when I was growing up. What have I done? Okay, that looks good. That looks good. No. What have I done? I am a doofus. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I put the whole thing on backwards. That's great. Okay. And that comes off, and that comes off. It's almost as if doing a live stream is distracting.
Yeah. Almost.
Almost.
Oh.
Now, the worst part was I just sent a part flying and I heard it. Okay, that looks good.
Now that kind of cheeses me off. I'm cheating and I'm looking ahead in the instructions. So you remember the orange spaceman minifigure that was
Yeah.
in the book?
Yeah.
So the main reason I got that figure was just, for the helmet in orange.
Okay.
So apparently in this set is the orange helmet.
No. The orange space helmet?
Yeah.
Well, okay, but let's admit, you definitely, spent a lot less to get the book or however you got the orange figure originally.
Well,
what it
I
would
did
cost
get
it.
I did get it at Costco for like half off. So
Okay, so you did good. You did. damn, you could have spent hundreds and got the Ninjago set to get the one helmet. What a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely there just for like an Easter egg, probably because the way the build looks like it's like an attic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like on the third book, skipping ahead, looking at it. I'm totally ruining the experience for me. I'll forget it overnight, most of it, but still,
I'm hoping. I'm going to wake up. Damn, I remember.
yeah. But there is a Space Police reference for sure. I mean, like, it's on a sticker, and the sticker it's in the Ninjago language, and I translated it, and it says Space Police. So that's cool.
I think that's incredible that you got the little lexicon there on the language.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a needed thing because like someone who's just getting this set just for the sake of it being a big Lego set, they're gonna have no idea what all these references are without it.
So you have it. Is it just a pictograph chart or is it an alphabet?
Here, I'll just show it off. Where did I put the first book? Oh, there it is.
Because all of a sudden I'm very tempted to write swear words in Ninjago.
There are people who I've seen a couple videos where they write in Ninjago language.
Here.
Oh, wrong way. Yeah.
Okay, so there's an alphabet. That is cool. All
There's a little
right.
QR code. If you want, you can pause the video right here to see if that takes you there.
Oh no, that's okay. I'll look it up later, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely learning how to swear in Ninjago, or at least read it out. I'm going to leave these cryptic messages on other guys' machines at work.
Yeah. Wait till they
Dickhead.
figure it out.
Dickhead in Ninjago. Well, no, because here's the thing. So, someone wrote something quite nasty on my machine. They etched it in with a blade. And well, it's written in Arabic. So I had my friend. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Me and two other people, we're kind of the safety people at work. So we're the ones who will politely remind you to wear a mask. And we'll politely remind you again. And we'll remind you a third time before we get you fired. Okay? Yeah. I got a bunch of X's that I've actually put on the machine for how many we said bye-bye to. Well, someone went and wrote in Arabic something quite nasty. So, yeah, there's now a camera over in the charge area for our machines. Not that it's going to stop anyone, because if they take my machine on another shift and drive around and do whatever, well, the thing is, it's someone on my shift, someone who's got a beef with me, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, fun stuff. The workplace. Workplace politics.
Gotta love the drama.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice it at first. Here's the thing. Two of my other friends, they were mentioned by name in Arabic. It was written in the washroom. So when my buddies, I don't use the stalls because ever since COVID, I do my best to manage my business not in there. Well, they went in there and there was graffiti and no one thought too much of it. Well, one friend took a picture of it, got it translated, this and that. Turned out it was two of my coworkers. So it was the other two who you would say would be masked Nazis or whatever. And then we took a look at my machine. I go, oh, that's very similar to what's written on my machine. Yeah, and they wrote something quite nasty I'll never repeat in public, polite company.
Yeah.
And for the time it took, like, what are you doing? Because they etched it into the plastic on my machine.
Oh, dang.
Oh, yeah. No, it's there quite permanent. My maintenance guy said, you want me to get rid of it? I go, no, because you're not going to replace the whole plastic for this. It's just a reminder that I know I'm doing something right and these guys are pricks.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. All they've done is reinforce in my head that, yeah, I'm the old white guy, but guess what? The old white guy's going to do his best to keep everyone safe. Keep me safe.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
And it's Oh, you don't? You think I didn't ride your ass before? No.
Well, that's the thing now. If you thought that, and it's not that it's personal or it's cultural, it's safety. And plus, I'm good friends with enough of these guys anyway. They know it's not like some stupid personal thing or racist thing or any nonsense like that. But there's going to be absolutely people who will think that, and I can't help that. But
Well, you're
that's
the
their
safety coordinator. That's your job.
yeah. Well, it's
You know,
their dysfunction if they think that people jumping on them for doing something wrong is a big deal. That's not my problem. That's theirs.
Oh man, there's so many areas where I can fit my CMF characters. Like I have an entire box full of the blind bait characters I just collected for the sake that I liked them, and
Yeah.
I've had nowhere to display them. And I'm looking at the build here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so many opportunities here.
See that set's good for that. But there was remember the Disney Castle when that came out?
Yeah.
That is like, well, at least for the Disney CMFs, that's the ultimate display set.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's like that set was perfect for it because it's a dollhouse setup. And I think, yeah, the one you got now seems to be really good for displaying a lot of figures, or at
Oh
least
yeah.
putting them in a place that makes sense. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I have a fisherman CMF, and I'm like, where the heck am I going to put him? I can't put him over the side of the Bounty or the Steamboat Willie in my eyes. So, and then I like, okay, maybe I can put him in this little pond area in the gardens, and I tested that out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be perfect
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
What I saw someone do, and this is an idea. Remember the bottle set,
shipping
the
ball.
shipping a
Yeah.
bottle. So what they did was they took the little classic space. They took the figures from the classic space 4-figure pack from a year or two ago, and then they took the
Yep.
small ship build from one of the sets. And I'm not sure if they took it straight or if they just made a smaller build, but they basically put Benny in a bottle.
Oh yeah, I can see how that's done now. Yeah.
And I thought that is just so cool. And instead of like the water studs, the trans blue, they did like moon rocks or whatever, gray studs or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought that
Simple
was
mod.
brilliant. But they used the colored figures from that Benny pack, the minifigure pack, the
Yeah, yeah.
four colored figures, and then they used a tiny build of some little ship, which I assumed was from the movie set, the Lego movie set where they had a classic space build and then a little vehicle.
Hmm.
But that thing would actually have been too big, but they might have used parts from that. But I thought, what genius. I saw that today. I was just bouncing around videos and someone's mocks, and it's like, oh, that is so cool. Brilliant.
Okay, so I already have something that I'm thinking, okay, what's up with that? So a lot of people are complaining, okay, they include all the main ninja in their urban outfits except for Kai and Zane. They just have a ninja outfit. Why didn't
It's
they just like have a little room to store the ninja outfits like they did for the Ninjago City docks? They had
okay.
Lloyd in his urban outfit, and then they had an area where you can hide the ninja outfit.
Okay.
So I'm looking ahead in the instructions, and it shows that they're gonna have me build a Jay ninja outfit, and I've already built Jay in his urban outfit. And I'm like, okay, why couldn't you? Like, I'm seeing where they can have me store the outfit. Why didn't they just expand that just a smidge? Make that room enough for 2 ninja outfits. Get rid of the J one, and then give Zane and Kai an urban outfit.
Yeah. You know what? It's racist. That's my new answer for everything. It's racism. I shouldn't joke. There's people who have real issues and they face
Yeah.
real problems, but yeah, I hate that answer to problems.
Yeah, it's frustrating when I went to school and they would pull that, and I'm like, I'm just being legit about this one thing that's not even having anything to do with that.
Oh, see, that's the worst.
Especially if you're trying to do a project and you have to use the pencil crayons and you ask for the black color. That one was the
Oh,
common one for me. Can I have the color black, and they're like, "Oh, that's racist." And I'm like, "How?
Yeah.
How?"
Yeah. Well, it's like, the Crayola packs used to have the word Negro on the
Oh,
on the black
Well,
crayon.
yeah, it's
That's what we grew up with. That's what was
yeah.
on there. And then I noticed something like, okay, so, at Walmart, Keurigs, you get the color in two or three different languages, but one you see black Negro on the Keurig box. It's like, oh, that brought that all back in my head because I'm not used to seeing that anymore. That's like,
hmm.
okay, but they're using it. That's interesting. No one seems to talk about that with the Keurigs. But what's funny is what's the best-selling model? The Negro one.
Yeah.
Red. I tell you, I don't pick many reds. I mean, yeah, Boxing Day was not Boxing Day. Black Friday, sure. But 2 years ago was a big push for the Keurigs, and still the number one seller was the black one.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So made the school take a. Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, wow.
That's a
Mama, that's a similar story to my mom. The school she grew up in Toronto, Gibbons, where she went, there was one in her neighborhood. So, I mean, and it's, in that one neighborhood over the years since 1960, seeing the changes, like, it's incredible. But yeah, I mean, Toronto's changed a lot.
yeah. That To Kill a Mockingbird. That was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
I watched that for the first time like probably 20 years ago. I've seen it the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, like I thought it was a great movie. Black and white movie.
I mean, there's a lot of movies. I know it's controversial, but I know, I say it, they're classics. And that doesn't mean that we can't still have them, but then talk about it or educate ourselves. I don't like the idea of getting rid of a movie or getting
Mm.
rid of a book because I don't think that's culturally responsible either.
No.
Because I'm
Uh-huh.
of the belief that if you try and hide and destroy history, we're doomed to repeat it. So
Yep.
burning a book or destroying a movie, 30, 50, 80 years later, I don't think is being culturally responsible.
I
I
find
think
it a little. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I find it a little silly, like for Uncle Ben's rice packets and such.
And
What's
then
the
Uh,
mascot on there? And I read an article where they wanted it to not have that as the mascot. They wanted it as something completely different. I'm like, seriously?
yeah,
On
they're going to.
for food packaging?
it's
Well, we're
the thing.
losing Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, all kinds of these brands. Now we're going to have the same content, but it's going to be rebranded. But I'll tell you the truth, in every case, you're going to lose some of your customer base who won't be able to find the product they used to look for
Yeah,
under those trusted brands.
that's brand loyalty. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
killing something that's been around for 50 years. Like it's silly.
I would rather have Aunt Jemima syrup and either put a story on the package or a link to something where people can educate themselves that maybe this isn't the most culturally sensitive packaging, but this is why it was done at the time.
Yeah,
Because an old, and I'm probably going deep in the weeds here, but an old mammy type was a very trustworthy person. You would trust someone like that to feed you,
yeah,
and I get that it's also very bad for some people because it's like, well, hey, my family suffered X, Y, Z racist stuff or slave stuff. Okay, I absolutely get that. But now we're going to get rid of the image, and guess what happens when you get rid of it? No one talks about it.
Hmm.
If we hide it and destroy it, then no one talks about it.
yeah,
Is that better? I
yeah.
don't know.
Doesn't change it. It still happened.
It still happened, but how do we teach anyone that anything's better if we don't even see what was wrong?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's no longer popular to have that idea, but I am who I am, but I understand and I respect it. I'm not even saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't. This is my opinion. I don't think it's culturally smart to destroy a piece of history.
Yeah.
Well, I finished bag 3, and I
Oh
think,
my goodness! Really?
yeah,
Oh, you're flying.
I'm gonna have to pull the pin here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
not
tell
gonna
you
be.
what. I'm on the last dozen pieces here, so I'll close this in 2 minutes. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, this is interesting. So they have a section for the Ninjago Museum of History, and they got this little build that's like a little magazine section,
Right.
and they're using one by one square tiles to represent them, and I'm recognizing them from the Lego Dots packets
Okay.
for at least two of them, two of the prints, and then another one. They have a Lego Minecraft turtle eye.
Oh wow.
That's some weird inclusion. The turtle eye, like I don't know.
Somebody was talking about, is there a banner that looks like Godzilla or something too? I saw that posted
That
and
might be further ahead.
Well, I mean,
that,
like I'm looking at the sticker sheet because that's where all the references are. Basically, are in the sticker sheet.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
I'm sure that Jim Winslet, I think it was him that posted something.
This is the only thing I think could be referencing the Godzilla thing, or whatever.
That doesn't look like it.
Nah, I don't know.
Looks like a shark.
I thought
Yeah, it's a shark. It's a shark, but that's
Okay.
the closest thing I think that's related to that, possibly.
I'm sure it was the gardens that. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, they got a Johnny Thunder Easter egg.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Okay, so what did I miss here? Excuse me. That pop.
But yeah, the rest is like stuff that like I hardly didn't know. Like for example, the Rock Raiders. That one I had to actually look when I was decoding the Ninjago language on the sides. And I was like, "What the heck is this? What the heck is Rock Raiders? This is the Ninjago set." So I typed in Lego Rock Raiders. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Let's make Ryan. I'm gonna make you full screen. Show off what you got there.
well, that looks pretty cool.
Oh, so that's at the end of the third bag. Oh wow. Yeah, see, mine just looks weird right now. Mine just looks like he's squatting on a toilet.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna go full screen and here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Mine looks like he's squatting on the toilet.
You'll have to monkey with the legs a bit to.
Yeah. I mean, he looks. There's definitely something I'll have to figure out after, but that's what he looks like right now. Oh, and of course, the dead eye. There we go. I know I'm going to replace that in the front somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this. Shoo.
Oh, and
There we
here's
go.
the Space Police sticker.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's a sticker sheet I would like to just have. You know, I've got sticker sheets for sets I don't own. I got a folder of them because sometimes when I'd be doing the stupid days on Bricklink, and I'd be ordering a bunch of stuff, and it's like, okay, here's a sticker sheet I need. Oh, but this guy's selling this, this, and this, and this for 10 or 20 cents each. Why not? I'll just grab them, because it doesn't cost me any more for shipping for paper. So.
Yeah. A lot of these stickers are, besides some of the ones that I've told you, they're like obvious Ninjago fan would recognize that what they're referencing, like Prime Empire, Hands of Time, Season, just a lot of cool Ninjago stuff.
You're making me want to get that set, I'm glad my wife's asleep. Oh, and that's one. Oh, that's one of the new deals. Is I'm supposed to have more discussions about what I'm buying this year. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like
Anyway,
it comes with a handful of exclusive figs, you know.
that won't impress her any. But that's where I'm at. All right, so let's shut this down. We'll resume when it's mutually convenient.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
That,
Have a good night, Mama. Boom.